This is Lacy Robertson, the hardest working woman in mortgage and real estate nationwide, and I'm here to bring you this week's report of California companies that will be experiencing a massive layoff where we received their notice between March 28th and April 3rd. Again, this is this week's report of California companies that will be experiencing a massive layoff where we received their notice between March 28th and April 3rd. If you are new to me, I am really passionate about sharing this information week after week of California companies that will be experiencing a massive layoff. Why? Because it was many years ago. I was getting ready to purchase a piece of property. I was super excited. I was getting ready to get the property. The seller was excited. They were getting ready to get the proceeds of their house. I had signed loan documents. My loan was due to fund in some hours. But hours later, I go back to work and I find out that myself and 399 other people were getting laid off that day. No warning or anything. You can only imagine how I was feeling. I was like devastated. I had to call my realtor, my broker at the time, and I was like, look, you cannot fund this loan. I don't have a job. I faxed them. Yes, fax. That's when we were really faxing back then. I faxed them the paperwork. And thankfully, I was able to unravel the transaction, but I lost money in the process, right? I didn't get my deposit back. I didn't get the money that I spent on a home inspection, a termite inspection. I didn't get that back. So the reason why I share this information, it's twofold. One, what would you do differently if you knew that there was a possibility that you might get laid off? Would you not go on that shopping spree? Would you not purchase that new home? Would you hold off on buying that new house or that new car? So what would you do differently? Would you start taking and dusting off your resume, kind of cleaning it up, updating it, try to put fillers out there to see who's hiring? What would you do differently? And so if I can help assist you in that way, that is great. The second reason why I share this information is I want you to know that you don't have to lose your house just because you lost your job. Like if you've experienced a loss of income, household income, whether it's due to a death, divorce, illness, injury, or layoff, I want you to know that there are options available. Like, there's temporary options like a repayment plan or a forbearance plan, but then there's more permanent options. You may opt to do a refinance before you get laid off so you can consolidate some bills and pull out some money to kind of hold you over. You may do a modification. That is me negotiating your existing loan to get your monthly mortgage payment lowered, whether that's lowering your interest rate or extending the term of the loan, offering principal forgiveness or principal forbearance. So I can do that in multiple ways. So I'm going to share with you the date the company is laying off, the name of the company that's laying off, how many, and the location. Now, you might be saying, you know what, Lacy, I don't need to hear all of that. I've already experienced a loss of income. How do I get in contact with you? I'm glad you asked. So you can pick up the phone and dial 714-914-7254. Again, that's 714-914-7254. Or you can visit my website at modifymenow.com. But I suggest just pick up the phone, call me. If you don't get me, leave a message. I'll always call you back. And so that is what I suggest. Now, time is always of the essence. Time is not on your side in situations like this. So you're going to want to get in contact with me. And remember, I do all things mortgage and real estate related. So I've been in the industry over 18 years. I help people finance property, refinance property. I help people sell property. I help people buy property. But again, when life deals them lemons, I help them make lemonade. I help them avoid foreclosure. Okay. But before I give you this week's list of California companies that are experiencing a massive layoff, let me share with you one of the modifications I was able to do for one of my clients. Let me share my screen so you can see this amazing testimony This is a client that I was able to help them get their payment modified. If we look over, they have Flagstar Bank. Some of you guys may be familiar, but if you look over on the screen, I'm gonna highlight their previous mortgage payment, including principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, was $3,319.18. Again, that was $3,319.18. That included principal, interest, taxes, and insurance, right? I went ahead, and they had an interest rate of 6.5%. You can see that right here. It's highlighted 6.5% fixed. I went ahead and negotiated. I fight for you. I negotiated with their lender. I got their interest rate down to 4.5%, and their payment dropped, if you look here, to $2,284.68. That was fixed for principal, interest, taxes, and insurance at a 4.5% interest rate. So I lowered their interest rate by 2%. That is amazing. What would you do if you were able to save like $1,034.50 a month? Like, what would you do if you were able to save $1,034.50 a month? Would you be able to stay in your house and maybe sleep a little bit better at night? Maybe you can go back to singing around the house again because you'll have a sense of relief. Well, that is what I do. So if you've experienced a loss of income due to a death, divorce, illness, injury, or layoff, you're going to want to get in contact with me. Getting a modification or getting a refinance or anything like that, it is not automatic. You got to pick up the phone and reach out. And time is not on your side. Okay. So I promised you the list. So let's get into it. Here we go. Okay. So I am going to list the companies in alphabetical order. So here we go. May 25th, we have AC Roman. It's bookstore and book soup is laying off 12 people at 3729 East Foothill Boulevard in Pasadena. Then we have June 1st, Abbott Vascular is laying off 12 people at 17201 Daimler Street in Irvine. We have the next entries are all going to be taking place on May 27th, and they're all for Apple. Apple is laying off massively. So let's get started. May 27th, Apple is laying off 371 people at 3689 Kiefer Road in Santa Clara. May 27th, Apple is laying off 11 people at 3000 and 3008 Kiefer Road in Santa Clara. You have May 27th, Apple is laying off 23 people at 2945 San Cedro Way in Santa Clara. You have May 27th, Apple is laying off 15 people at 2975 San Cedro Way in Santa Clara. You have May 27th, Apple again is laying off 58 people at 1705 Wyatt Drive in Santa Clara. May 27th, Apple is laying off 49 people at 3111 Coronado Drive in Santa Clara. You have May 27th, Apple is laying off 35 people at 3250 Scott Boulevard in Santa Clara. And then you have May 27th, Apple is laying off 52 people at 3260 Scott Boulevard in Santa Clara. Moving right along, we have June 3rd, Happy Money Inc. is laying off 89 people at 21515 Hawthorne Boulevard, Suite 200 in Torrance. We have May 31st, Lorena High School and Middle School is laying off 57 people at 106 West Jans Road in Thousand Oaks. You have May 27th, also VR Inc. is laying off 67 people at 548 Market Street. That's in San Francisco. You have May 20th, On-time staffing is laying off 19 people at 1540 1540 Francisco Street in Torrance. Then you have May 20th. On-time staffing is laying off 2 people at 19750 Venice Avenue in Torrance. May 31st, Owens Brockway Glass Container Inc. is laying off 16 people at 5195 Vimy Drive in Fairfield. June 5th, Rhines International California is laying off 52 people at 6600 Topanga Canyon Boulevard, Suite 1010B in Canoga Park. May 21st, Resort Vacations is laying off 24 people at 333 South Anita Drive, Suite 100 in Orange. And then you have May 21st, Resort Vacations is laying off 34 people at 3700 South Susan Street, Suite 230 in Santa Ana. May 31st, Diadario Woodwinds is laying off 6 people at 8484 San Fernando Road in Sun Valley. May 31st, Sakata Seed America is laying off 36 people at 18095 Serene Drive in Morgan Hill. May 31st, Thermo Fisher Scientific is laying off 74 people at 5791 Van Allen Way in Carlsbad. You have April 30th this month. UPS is laying off 68 people at 3140 East Jurupa Avenue in Ontario. May 22nd, U.S. Display Group is laying off 50 people at 235 Radio Road in Corona. May 31st, Western Power Sports is laying off 11 people at 2855 South Elm Avenue in Fresno. You have June 4th, Williams Sonoma Direct is laying off 36 people at 6000 Giant Road in Richmond. And last but not least, you have June 30th, Woodbury University is laying off 10 people at 2212 Main Street in San Diego. So those are the California companies that will be experiencing a massive layoff where we received their notice between March 28th and April 3rd. Now remember, if you've experienced a loss of income due to a death, divorce, illness, injury, or layoff, I don't care what it is, you got to know that you don't have to lose your house just because you lost your job and you're facing a financial hardship, right? There are permanent options. There are more temporary options. The best thing for you to do is to reach out, pick up the phone, and call me. My number is 714-914-7254. You can visit my website at modifymenow.com. Remember, this is Lacy Robertson, the hardest working woman in mortgage and real estate nationwide. I look forward to working with you and for you. And until then, have a blessed day.